let's get right into the travel thing. We're all in Toronto, and we're happy to be here. We don't want to be anywhere else, right? Yeah. But your books, they transport us someplace else. Amy, I want to start with you. The Catch is set in Cora's Cove, a little fishing village that actually exists, correct?
No,
it doesn't.
It's fictional.
Oh my God. I Googled it and something came up.
Oh, really? Maybe it does exist and I didn't know, but I purposely made it fictional because I didn't want to screw up anybody's small town, like real small
experience.
town.
So how did you settle on sort of the East Coast, that sort of location?
I love the East Coast. I have some family that lives in the East Coast, so I've been a couple times. And I'm also just obsessed with water, all things nautical, boating. I don't personally fish, but I like the idea of it. So yeah, it was very natural. I wanted a book that felt like August by Taylor Swift, if anyone's ever heard of it. So that was kind of like the original inspiration. And yeah, I just really wanted something coastal and something Canadian.
And the fictional part, you were hopping onto that, the idea that you don't want to destroy someone's sort of experience of their own home?
For a very small town, yes, because small towns are so quirky and personal, and I didn't want to, having not lived in a small town in the East Coast, I didn't want to, portray it in a bad light. So I made one up. I kind of based it on like Lunenburg, if anybody has been to Lunenburg with those beautiful colored houses. Yeah. Something that looks like that, but is my own.
I love that. Anna, The Last Sunrise is set in Majorca. Yuck, gross. Who wants to go there? Not me. How did you settle on this ugly little place?
Well, it was kind of easy. I had the idea, there was a film first, and I got a little I don't know, I just was tired of writing a lot of the After series is in Washington, but you can tell when you read it that I had never been to Washington before I wrote it. I also didn't write an English character who was from England. If you actually read it, I'm like, oh, that's interesting. He doesn't have any traits. And I did Georgia and Texas, and I was like, okay, we've got to get out of here. And I just wanted to mentally escape, I think, and I wanted to, because it was a film idea first, I have this idea that I was like, I want to make films that are not all in English, because I don't watch anything in English, to be honest. So I was like, okay, it would be an easy crossover, and I have a lot of readers in Spain. So I was like, I'll just do something I don't know, in Spain. And then now tonight, I'm leaving on a red eye to go to Majorca to film the movie. So I'm so excited. And I'm definitely okay, from now on, I think this travel thing's gonna be a thing for me. Because I'm like, wait, okay, if I can do this and then I can travel for free and live in another place and make movies in all these different countries. So you will not be seeing a small town, unless it's a small town in Italy, for me for a while.
Very smart. And Megan, your book starts off in New York City. And then it goes to the northwest or the northeast? Northwest.
What book are you talking about?
Oh, The Sausage Fest. It starts off.
Yeah, the Sausage Fest. Have you guys read that one yet? It's really good.
So it's the marriage camp, the marriage counseling camp is in the northwest?
That would be the northeast.
That would be the northeast.
Yes.
How did you settle on this location?
It's where I spent some time, and I was familiar, and I didn't want to think a lot. So,
so is it important for you to have been to the place that you're setting your story in?
Not necessarily. I mean, if I'm it depends on what kind of mood I'm in. So during COVID, I wrote The Highland Fling, and I was like, I really need to go. And so I spent about 2 weeks in Scotland on my computer through Google Maps. I was really able to get the feeling of it. I played bagpipes on Spotify as I traversed through on the Google Maps.
You do a really good job with the arrow. You keep going.
Honestly, I know. I saw some things that I was like, well, what's that goat doing there? But yeah, it really doesn't matter. It just depends on what kind of mood I'm in, and if I want to take something to another place, if I have time to actually sit there and do the research, or if I'm really behind on a deadline, then I'm like, let's just go for it and use what's up here.
And same with Anna, you've just confessed that you haven't been to some of the places where you've set your books. But so what does research look like? Do you do Google Maps as well?
This time I did. This time it was definitely a different, I don't know, because just awareness. Like before, I guess representing England is not the same thing as, I don't know, it doesn't feel the same place. No offense to anybody from England, but I didn't want to be this like white American girl writing about Spain, especially because I talk about like tourism and environmental problems and all this stuff happening that's actually happening in Mallorca. So I didn't want to do that and be insensitive. So I have a really close relationship with my editor in Spain, and so she was like my kind of research for me, and then I had talked to some readers in Spain, and I did my own research just like in the news there, and I had already known some, and there's a lot of stuff that unless I had been there, which I have been to Spain, just not Mallorca, and I knew already about like this separation of like Catalan versus like Spain, so I wanted to be very careful with like language and family history, and just I didn't want to do it ignorantly, which I think sometimes is definitely fine, but just for this, especially given the topics that I talk about and that the characters are, and knowing that it's going to be a film that people are going to see, it's like I wanted to be a little more responsible than in the past of just like whatever. But so this time I did do a lot of Google Maps, but it was more, I already kind of knew what it looked like. It was more of just like the history, the political climate. There was a lot of searching, like I get stuck on this like most ridiculous stuff of like, what is this stone street made of? And if I say the wrong stone, it like makes me crazy. So that kind of stuff was harder to like research, because I'm like, this is a cliff, but what is the cliff made of? Is it just a rock? Is it like, how long has it been there? Is there a limestone? Is it like, but then it's like, why did I just spend an hour doing that?
Rabbit hole. And Amy, have you ever written about a place that, have you ever said a book in a place that you haven't been to?
Sure have. Yes. When I started writing the influencer series, which were my first books, I was a baby writer. I didn't really know about publishing in general, and I just assumed that people wouldn't read books set in Canada. Just assumed. Not true. Not true. But that was my assumption, and so I based the influencer series, well, the first two books, in Boston, only because I felt like, just based on the vibes that I've seen on TV, that it would be close-ish to a Canadian city. I don't know if that's the case, because there's a scene where there is an unhoused person, and my character is on the sidewalk, and he asks her for money, and I have her, being super nice, and then my editor wrote a note, and she said, I don't know if this would happen in Boston. So I was like, okay, maybe I don't know the culture very well, but yes, I just kind of winged it. But since then, every book I have written takes place in a place I know, unless it's a fictional, made-up town.
I imagine your careers, from the sounds of it, have resulted in a great deal of travel. What's the most exciting place that work has brought you to in terms of visiting?
Anna, you probably have the most exciting place.
I'm like, these questions are scary, because if you say one country, then people are like, why don't you like this country? But I would say my first time just leaving the country, besides I came to Toronto a lot with Wattpad, but it didn't feel, because the language and everything's the same, so it didn't like feel like culture shock to me. But when I came to Toronto, and then I went directly to Spain and France, and I have never felt, it was such a culture shock. I'm like, and I thought I was so like aware of everything, and then I got to places and I had an accent in France after 3 days, and I was like, what the hell is this? And my parents were like, why are you talking like that? I'm like what? And then I'm like,
bonjour,
yeah,
mama.
Literally. And I was like drinking like 80 coffees a day. That's where this all started. So I'm like, okay, so I would say just like experiencing another culture, because I'm from like a small town in Ohio. There's not a lot of culture. There's not a lot of people that are different. I live in LA now, so it's totally different. But at the time I was living in Texas, so I was just like, this is amazing. And the food, and like being able to eat food and not be sick, was like incredible. It's like what I'm really looking forward to going to Mallorca, honestly. I'm like, I can't wait to eat bread and like dairy and not be sick. It's crazy.
No processed food.
Yeah.
I've been to I love Canada,
We'll take it.
I've been to, but I haven't been able to spend a lot of time here. But you reminded me that I actually went to France. Yeah, this February. It's all a blur, you guys. But I was living my best life there because their breakfasts are all about carbs. And I was like, just bring it on. Like, the whole plate was just full of them. But they were so kind, and everyone was like, be careful, the French are so rude. I'm like, I don't know what French people you're meeting.
A lot of people say that, and it's like you've literally never met a French person.
Exactly.
Like, my family said, like, be careful. I'm like, you have never met anyone from France. What are you talking about?
I know, and they're so nice. I was like, I don't know. They were so kind and, like, helped me, and there was this one time I wanted to get some chocolate for my parents, and we were in Toulouse, and the chocolatier lady didn't speak English, and this person was helping me and translating, and I was like, see, people are so nice. But France is probably one of my, like, tops. And I actually did go to Scotland after I wrote the book. I know. I know.
And you knew your way around because you'd practically been there
Obviously,
before.
I was like, actually, bus driver, it's the right.
I know this street up and down.
Amy, what about you?
I would say I went to New York a couple years ago when I wrote the Mindy book, Woke Up Like This. I got to go to New York and film some things and be on a green screen and flub my lines and be really awkward. So that was fun. And I love New York City. And I also have started choosing destinations that I would like to just travel to and put them in my books. Yeah. So for something like Fate, one of my young adult books, it's set in Italy. So I went to Italy for 3 weeks. I drove from the north, from the Dolomites, which is like the Italian Alps, beautiful. And it's actually German culture up there, which is interesting. And then drove all the way through and went to Amalfi Coast. And it's my favorite place in the world. Like, if I could live there.
That sounds really nice.
And the food, unprocessed, amazing. They eat pasta all day, and they're all so fit. Like,
yeah.
I had so many croissants in France, and I came back skinnier. And I was like, what the hell?
It's actually crazy. Like, I will eat all the, like, buttery croissants and don't have a single breakout. And then I come home and have, like, a bite of sourdough, and my skin's, like, inflamed. It's actually wild. And I live in LA where we, like, allegedly don't have processed stuff. And I'm like, okay, even this is still, something's going on.
yeah.
Something's going on. I want to get into the genre itself a little bit. I'm presuming everyone here, you're huge fans. I'm going to ask you honestly, do you want to hear their origin stories, or do you know them? Do you know how they got into this genre? Yeah.
Crickets.
Oh, okay. Well, let's do like a quick, like, Amy, tell us quickly what brought you into the genre.
So when I was young, I always wrote. I wrote, like, on my family desktop computer in the basement with Comic Sans font and at Curls font, anything bizarre, yeah.
Not papyrus, I hope.
And it was always, because at the time, it was like early 2000s, everything was dystopian, kind of angsty, and I always really leaned hard into the romance aspect of it. I was always writing angsty love triangles, but I would never say that it was romance. Like, it was always an action or fantasy. And even in movies, always was drawn to romance. I kind of stopped reading and writing when I went to school because you just have too many things to read in school.
What did you go to school for?
I went to school for political science.
Okay.
To work for the government. So very different discipline, and work in policy. So then when I started working for the government, I started commuting and had time, and I just started reading romance. So I'm not like an old school bodice ripper reader. I kind of started with Christina Lauren and your books, and it evolved from there. Yeah.
Very cool. Anna, what about you?
I just loved romance, like, since I was a kid. Like, I was always like, even with dolls, I was like, they're married, or they're divorcing, or they're like, there's something going on. Yes, always. Like, I was just always like, even just trying to, like, matchmake all my friends. Like, I was very young and very obsessed with romance. And then I started reading it, or even things that weren't romance. Like, I do it still if I'm watching something. Like, even I'll watch Squid Game and be like, they are in love. And my husband's like, he's gonna kill her. I'm like, it doesn't matter. They love each other. They made eye contact. I will find a romance in anything I'm watching. Even like Death Note. I don't know if anyone knows Death Note. I literally have my own, like, 5 ships in my head that I'm like, I don't care what anyone tells me. They were in love with each other. So I just always, I just love. And I just started writing fan fiction on the internet just because I loved it. It was the same with like Twilight, 50 Shades, Christina Lauren, and then just started writing it and didn't know anyone was going to read it. And here we are.
People did. A few.
Yeah.
Meghan, what about you?
I'm the same. I love so much to the point that in high school, I played softball and I was like going for a scholarship, and so my life did not exist. And so my parents felt bad for me, so on Friday nights they would bring me to the local Blockbuster. Thank you. And they would let me pick out a movie. And on Friday nights during my senior year, I would sit between my parents and we would watch a rom-com together, holding hands. So it's kind of where my love for it started. But then in 2012, I got a Kindle and I started reading a lot, and I had an hour and 20-minute commute. And it was before all the like Spotify and podcasts. So I had the Adele 21 CD on repeat in my car, and it started to get a little crazy in there. And I started to have these ideas of the books that I was reading, and like, what if this happened? What if that happened? And then voices started going off in my head. I'm like, Jesus, I either need to write this shit down, or I need to go talk to somebody because something's going on in here. So I started writing.
Now, when the three of you finish a book, or often sometimes a trilogy, you're saying goodbye to characters. Do you miss them, or are you like, I'm done with you, I've told your story, I never want to talk to you again?
It depends on the character. Some characters you're kind of done with, and others you miss. That's my experience.
I think since I wrote serially on Wattpad, I just like don't know when to stop with the characters. So I feel like there's almost pretty much every character I've ever had, I've either still continuing their story and just you guys don't know about it, or I like in my head I'm like, oh, they're doing this today, or I wonder what they're like. They just never. I'm just not good at like ending things. That's why my books are usually really long. My like later books after the After series weren't, because I realized like that is not normal. So yeah, that was. I don't think I can like say goodbye ever to characters, which.
I'm like, F you, shut laptop. Goodbye. Thank you for your service.
I have to confess, I was doing some more Googling, and I was putting in the titles of your books into Google, and the autofill is fill in the blank spicy, and it first of all, it made me laugh, and then it made me think, how spicy do you like, or rather, it seems like the public wants a little spice. And it also seems like you want to give the public what they want. But how do you... Let's talk spice. I don't know if there's a question here. I just want to talk, like, how do you determine the spice level? Like 1 chili, 2 chili, 3?
The crowd's like, finally, the travel's over. Let's get to the good stuff. Enough with the travel. I get really angry about the chili peppers, because I will sit down and I'm like, oh.
Is that a real thing?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, I just made that. Oh my
No,
God.
it's a
I was
real
thinking
thing.
Thai food.
It's a real thing, and you guys judge how you want. That's on you, okay? That's your choice. But when I sit down and I write a scene where she's playing with a strap-on on the tile, and she's doing herself while he's doing himself and watching, and you don't give me at least 4, I'm like, what do I have to do to earn your love?
Or what are they reading besides
yeah,
yours?
exactly,
Yeah.
you dirty people. I'm like, she's literally, and he's like, and you're like, too.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Whatever. Next time I'll have him hold a gun up to her head. Is that what you want?
You gotta amp it up. That's
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I there's definitely a big difference in what I think I'm writing that's spicy, and then especially my latest books, and I'm like, the chili pepper thing, I'm like, who created this? Yeah. And for the last Sunrise especially, I was like, this is like way sexier than the Brightest Star series. And then my editor was like, I think they gave it like a 3. And I was like, but there's like so much spice. And she's like, there's like 2 scenes. I was like, no, there's like at least 8. There's not. But in my head, because I just like can't, there's so many things that, I don't know if everyone does this or it's just a me thing, but there's so many things that I think I write that I actually like, it's just in my head. So I'm like, okay, in my head, it's like they cannot get off each other. And then in the book, I'm like, oh. So in the movie, there's actually like more sex scenes than in the book because I was like, no, they're there. They're just not there technically.
Yeah. Sign me up.
But the chili pepper thing, yeah. So in my head, I'm definitely writing spicier. But I think I'm always telling my husband, I'm like, this is your fault because I'm watching K-dramas all day where they don't kiss until 19 hours in.
Yeah.
And then I'm like crying and I'm hysterical and I'm like goosebumps and kicking my feet when they kiss. And I'm like, I can't even write sex anymore because I feel like I'm like, it's so, yeah. And just the level, sometimes when I've recently, like, I guess I can say this, I don't know, if not, whatever, but I've recently had to reread my first series, which is hell. I never reread what I write.
No.
And some of the stuff I wrote, I'm like, holy moly. I'm like, this is like I was like red. And my husband was like, should I read your books? I'm like, no, absolutely not. Like, you don't even know this, like, just no. I'm like, this was absolutely not. But sometimes I'm like, oh my God. And then trying to like recreate that later, I'm like, oh my God. I was like in hives. I'm like, this is, yeah. Definitely different than no. So I try, but the freaking chili peppers, I'm like, kill me. But
Amy?
I'm not doing strap-ons on the floor or anything. But
It
maybe
was
one
on
day.
the bathroom wall, okay, in the shower. It
I mean,
was
that's
not on
even
the
more
floor.
chili peppers
But
for
thank
sure.
you for the tip, because maybe I'll try that. Strap on the
I need to
floor.
aspire to this level with the strap-ons. Now my next book. No, it depends because I write YA as well, so I don't tend to do like, I mean, I have sex in one of the YA books because honestly, I think that it's probably the best education a teen can get, aside from, things on the internet. But it's not open door, like it's not explicit. We're not calling things, certain things. But again, I think, to your point though, the worst part is rereading the spicy scenes and doing edits on them and having your editors comment and like the copy editors being like, oh, it's odd that her hand is here when it was down there before. How did it get there? Like the logistics of the scene, it's like very awkward. I absolutely despise editing them.
The logistics are always funny. 'Cause it's
My-
like,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
God. Like I did a thing where the woman was pregnant and it just literally didn't make any sense. And the editor was like, how would he be able to see that part of her? And I was like, like I don't know, but it just was like.
Now I just
I'm
have to delete that
I'm
line.
like, can we just not? I'm like, can we not talk about it? Can you just put it in the like? We don't need to do this on Zoom. Just put it in the side. And I had a male editor for the after series. It was actually way more comfortable. No, it was way more comfortable because it was just like South Park memes and like whatever. Like just it was so much more like less conversation. It was just like fix this or this doesn't work or like really haha. And then I would be like, okay, fix it. But my editor now, she's so great in so many ways, but she'll just like make eye contact on Zoom and be like, so how does this? And I'm like, why are we doing this?
Don't look me in the eye.
I'm like, this is, yeah.
My editor will be like, now Megan, this is a human. Why does it seem like he has 3 penises? You don't know, Marion. She's like, you can only stick it in one hole at one time.
I think a lot of us probably have 3, like not 3 penises, but 3 hands. There's always like an extra hand where you're like, oh, well, his hand is there and there. Okay, I guess we need to delete one of the hands. And then it's like picking which hand goes away. It's like,
Exactly.
Which is the most
Imagine 3
Yeah.
penises coming at you, though. Whoa.
no way, no thanks. I can honestly barely hear
What you got going on now?
You can
down
do
there,
this.
bud?
You can do this. Amy,
We're
when you were
waiting.
talking about writing sex scenes, for the YA work, it reminded me that my mom used to, I think, have some sort of subscription to Harlequin books. And when I was 13 or 14, they were in a hutch. she wasn't hiding them, but I would find them and realized that I didn't have to read the book. I could just skim through and look for words like haunches, lifting, and I would just be, like tearing them through. So there's no question there. Actually, there is a question. Have you had that experience with another book when you were younger, or a sex scene from a rom-com, or, not necessarily a rom-com, but a movie, and you were like, that is what I want to try to get on the page? Something that was so steamy and so hot.
Flowers in the Attic.
Say it again?
Flowers in the Attic, V.C. Andrews.
Oh my God!
Okay,
Not that I understand.
Not that I would replicate the incest part.
No.
But it was spicy. It was fun. It was like taboo
We
to read
passed
that
that
at 12.
book around in grade 8.
Yeah.
From student to student, we would read it in class, in our desks, and then finish it and then give it to the next person.
Ever since, I've been aspiring to that.
Yeah.
I grew up in a very, very open household when it comes to sex and anything sexual, so I feel like I wasn't as tantalized by it. Like, my mom was very much like, so this is a toy, and if you want to use it, I'm like, Mom, get the, every time I had a friend over, she's like, if you and Jessica want it, and I'm like, I have a boyfriend, first of all, but also maybe, but my mom was very she was very, very open, and both of my parents were, my mom more so than my dad, but so I feel like sex just comes so, I have very open in all the ways. My mom was that's something that when I was younger I could not stand, but as I got older I was like, oh, I love that she was like that, because it was never a shameful thing. There was never any shame around sex. She took me to all the things, showed me all the things, a little too much. My parents were very into magazines and videos, and I would find their videos sometimes.
Oh, God.
Which was 2 times.
Clarify, the videos that they
Of
created
them.
together.
Yeah.
Oh
with
my
one of them
God.
had whipped cream. And I was watching My Trip to Washington, which is the only time I had ever left Ohio, and they taped over it. And my boyfriend and 2 of my friends were there. And my mom, instead of oh, I'm so sorry, thought it was the funniest thing, told everyone, which was even more and I'm like, this is not funny. My friends just saw, but my parents are Woodstock kids are they have no boundaries. I'll call my mom's we're just, and I'm like, we don't need. And my husband's very, very Asian, so this is very, something very new to him, where sometimes my parents, he's like, your mom just, my mom will just say stuff, and he's but his face is so red, and he's and I'm he's never even heard his parents have sex before, and I'm like, you've never stumbled upon your parents? That's crazy. So there's definitely cultural differences that we're working through, but yeah. So I feel I'm so desensitized when it comes. Maybe that's why I'm the chili pepper thing pisses me off, and I'm I am a spicy girl. I watch my that's crazy. That is all the chili peppers.
I know. Same. I I would say maybe freshman year in high school, there was times where I thought my cat was scratching the wall, and I was like, Milo, come to mommy. Milo, that's you, right? That's you. No, it was not Milo. It was my parents. So I do feel desensitized as well. But there was this one book that because my mom really wanted me to read, and I was like, I don't want to read. But she was like, you could pick any book, and we were in the grocery store, and so we're at the mass market section, and I was like, that one. And it's called How to Lasso a Cowboy. It was an illustrated cover, and it was orange and yellow, and I was like, that's catching my attention. She's like, okay, here we go. I was like, holy shit. Mom, there's penises in here. So that was my first raw experience. Also, my parents decided to have us all watch as a family Jerry Maguire together, and we were all just like sitting there and like enjoying it, and it like switched to the next scene, and it's him just plowing her, and my parents were like, turn it up, and I'm like, what's happening? So that was
my parents would have left the room. Like,
really?
Yeah,
yes,
my parents would have been like, why are you turning away? They're like, why are you freaked out? This is nothing.
I know.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't believe how fast this is going. I think we have about a 5-minute window here. So quick little rapid fire, one-word answers. You can say pass if you can't think of it, and then we're going to come back to you. If you could go on vacation, back to travel, I'm so sorry. If you could have 3 penises in your book, would you have them? No. We'll get there, but if you could go on vacation right now, where would you go? Anywhere.
Somewhere tropical, like Bora Bora.
Nice.
Thank you.
I feel like I'm going on vacation. I feel like, even though I'm going to work, but I'm going to Mallorca. So, Mallorca.
Greek islands.
Nice. Sorry. Is there one book that you wish you had written?
50 Shades for the money.
I'm like Twilight for the same reason, but also because it's Twilight, but literally for the money. Yeah. And the dolls, and so I just want dolls and like all the merch.
Yeah.
Hunger Games.
Yeah. Again. Then the Greek islands would look a lot better, I'm sure, from
they
with
would.
that money. Is there a book you've read twice?
How to Lasso a Cowboy. Those pages are worn out.
I feel like maybe it's an anxiety thing, but I reread a lot.
Do you really?
Yeah, I reread, I rewatch. I'm like a chronic rereader and rewatcher. I've read every book by Cassandra Clare at least like 6 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a very chronic rereader.
Amy, do you reread a lot?
No,
Me
no,
neither.
I cannot. Because if I have a really good memory, and so I just remember everything, which I guess is the comfort of it, but I don't. No.
Did you ever read Thoughtless, the Thoughtless series?
Yes.
Okay, I tried to reread the first one, and I was like, I have so much trauma from this, but I love those books so much.
There's a lot of books from like 2012 to 2016 that I try to reread, and I'm like, oh, this is different.
Traumatized, but the best ever.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Is there a book that you have thought, oh, I should read this, but you just couldn't finish it?
What is that really sad one with the guy on the cover that's like crying?
Oh, not
A
the
Little
Prayer
Life.
of Owen.
Everyone keeps being like, read this. I'm like, every person that's read this is
he's
miserable.
like kind of like cringing over.
yeah, and my friend read it on vacation and almost got a divorce.
Yeah.
So I'm like, why would you?
A Little Life.
Yeah, and I'm like, there's enough trauma in this world. I can't handle that. So I will not. I eventually will, just because I feel like it's a book that everyone who like reads
It's a book
should
that
read,
people
but
either love or hate, isn't
yeah,
it?
I'm not in a mental place for that book right now.
Anyone else?
No, not really.
Pass.
No. Who's your first draft reader?
Marion calls me out on my 3, you know.
3 dicks. Yeah. Fair.
My agent's daughter.
Oh, wow.
Teresa, yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Amy?
My editor.
Your editor. Okay, that makes sense. Read your reviews or ignore them?
I read them. I'm psychotic. Give me those 1 stars. Ha, you didn't get it. You did not get this at all. I have burner accounts.
I only read good ones, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like from my Wattpad days, I read enough, like, bad. I'm like, I don't need it. Like, if anything, it's none of my business. Yeah, I don't, but even about books that I'm going to read, like, or that I want to read, I will not read a bad review about it, because I'm like, that's none of my business either.
You probably have thick skin from Wattpad.
Yeah, well, I'm like, there's nothing you can say to me that I did not get from Wattpad, trust me.
I read them in the beginning, but then once the book is out, I hard stop.
Oh, good for you. That's really smart. Hey, can I do dream casting for Melanie and Evan?
I don't know about Mel, Evan, Liam Hemsworth.
Say it again.
Liam Hemsworth.
Oh, yeah. And what about for Scotty and Wilder?
Oh, that's me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took me a second because I was like, wait, I don't know them from my own brain.
I have no idea.
Really? You don't think about people when you write, or no?
I
No.
actually, for the guy, I was thinking of the guy who played, his name is Wilder, Meghan. The guy who played Prince Eric in the live action film The Little Mermaid. Oh. I thought of him the entire time when I was writing. Thank you. Your approval matters the most to me.
Yes. That was a strong yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The girl, like maybe like a Lucy Hale or someone could like hold their own, you know, but also has like good like comedic timing. Oh no. Oh, this died
I
for a
like
second. That's
that.
good.
I like that. And Ryan and Julian, they're in a movie.
Yeah.
Like there are actors already playing them. So.
Yeah, and with Rai, I knew her a little bit already through her manager. And so I like knew I wanted her, and then she was like, yeah. So she didn't even audition. I just like, I already knew that she can act. And then for Julian, I got my, like, I didn't exactly imagine him while I was writing, but once we started casting, because I knew, like, again, I sold it as a film first, so I had him in my mind for a long time. And then we have to go through the process because I'm not the only producer, unfortunately. So I have to listen to other people. But I got my way in the end, as per usual with casting.
Good.
So I got my, like, dream Julian.
That's beautiful.
And Eva Mendes for Isolde. I'm like, come on. That was like a dream cast where I was
Yeah.
like, I want Eva Mendes. And I was like, oh my God, Eva Longoria. Why did I say Eva Mendes?
Yeah.
I am like, fuck. But it was Eva Longoria, but I didn't think she would do it. So I was just like, I want her. And then they were like, she loves it. I'm like, what the hell? Wow. So here we
Very,
are. Now
very
she's
cool.
like recording TikToks for me in Mallorca, and I'll see her tomorrow.
That's incredible. Last one. Girth or length?
You know, I think a little girth is going to have more of an impact on the pencil shooting up there. So, girth.
Yeah, same. Length is not all that it's cut out to be, especially even the way I like write it. Sometimes I'm like, why am I doing that? That's not even enjoyable in
It
real
can
life.
be really painful. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll go
Yeah.
girth.
Yeah.
Girth.
Well, and also it's how they use it, honestly.
Yes.
It's all about the swivel.
It's all about the swivel. That's a marvelous spot to end on. I thank you. That was incredible, you guys.